comprehension part of things,
and that's the toughest part of the ACT.
Yeah.
And that's what I taught.
Oh, you did ACT?
I did ACTs. I not only did ACTs, but the way I made my first 1 million shillings in the year 2000, between August and December, I used to tutor people ACTs. In fact, the founder of Africa's Talking, one of the founders, Eston Kimani, I tutored him for 9 months.
So that
he
could
got
be able
the
to
95th percentile in ACTs, verbal reasoning and mathematical reasoning, which is one of the highest worldwide, and it helped him get to 6 of the 8 Ivy League schools.
Yeah, Teddy, I know you've flown some of our brightest mind out there.
Of course.
And I want us to have a session on that. Like, what does it take? Yes, how is that process? Why? Because I'm always interested, like, why? Like,
actually, the reason why I did that, which I can answer in brief. There are some companies that came later, like Andela, which were watching or getting African talent and sending them to work for American tech companies.
Yes.
But they needed to have a foundation by teaching people how tech works.
Yes.
For me, at that period in 2000,
yes,
I realized, because that time there was this story that we were going to have, that all the systems will shut down.
Yes.
I forget what the 2000 bug.
Yes, the millennium.
The millennium bug.
Yes.
So I was wondering, if we don't have the right skills in Kenya or in Africa, we have this millennium bug kind of thing, how are you going to manage?
Yes.
How are we going to live amongst other communities of the nations of the world?
Yes.
So I said the best thing for me is to go and take talent to the US, then bring them back. So what I was doing even at that time, which I was only, I think I was 20 or 21, I was probably 20 years old.
Yes.
19.
Yes.
What I told them, including Eston, Bilha, all the guys I worked with, Bill and Dirango, Eston,
yes,
Irene, Mudoni,
yes,
Linda Mwende.
Yes.
Linda is now working for Google.
Yes.
All these guys, I told them to tell me they'll come back and work home in Kenya. So they, unfortunately,
it was like a promise.
It's like a promise.
Falling forward. They call it falling forward.
Exactly.
Or paying forward.
Paying forward. And because for me, I was operating from keeping myself honest, I thought they also would keep the words they said.
Yes.
So there's only one person who more or less kept his word.
Yes.
And that was Eston Kimani.
Yes.
Who came back.
Yes.
But also for some Gikani, in a most unusual of ways.
Yes.
And in maybe a mystery of life.
Yes.
Before I went to the US, my father had just died.
Yes.
God rest his soul in peace. It's called George Edward Warria.
Yes.
I worked for Electronics and Infotech, which was run by engineer Kipsang Choge. So I got Victor Kiru.
That was a local company?
It was a telco, more or less. They were getting almost all the tenders from the defunct Kenya Post and Telecommunications Communication, because my boss then, engineer Kipsang Choge, had been the area manager for Nairobi for Kenya Post and Telecommunications.
Yes.
But he saw an opportunity to create his own business, because he'd do tenders and win tenders for this company.
Yes.
Which he was making a lot of money.
Yes.
So I used to work for him and with him, and I used to earn 3,000 at that time, which is a lot of money.
Yes.
Because he used to buy for me lunch and give me transport on top of that. So when I was leaving when I was doing my thing, I found so much information that when his son, Nathaniel Choge, came to Kenya, he said, Teddy, I want us to do a project. Why don't we put all these things together into a book, which forms a guide for applying to colleges in the US. So we put it together in something called New Horizons, a practical guide to applying to universities in the US.
Yes.
That has helped thousands of people.
So it's there?
It's still there, and it's free, and it's online. If you Google New Horizons, a practical guide to applying to colleges in the US, you'll find it there. Even our own CFO here, Moshemi, used it. A lot of people have used it, even without my help, because it's
it could scale.
Yes, it could scale. It's a step-by-step guide.
Yes.
And in fact, next year I plan to put a website on it so that it can scale across Africa.
Yes,
and Africans can apply without worry to any university in the US and get in.
Yes.
Because I basically call it, I broke the code to get into the Ivy League school and MIT.
Yes.
In fact, the first year when Sam and Eston went and others, I took 6 people to MIT that year, which was 2001, even before going to the US myself.
Amazing. So you use yourself as a stepping stone for these guys.
Exactly. Actually, a bridge.
Yes. You are a bridge.
Yeah, I was a bridge because even Flora, who was one of the top students, went to MIT at that time. Sam went to MIT. And that's why Africa's Talking was born in a dorm room at MIT.
Yes.
So I usually like telling some people, the foundations of Africa Stalking was in an MIT dorm room, but somebody had to create that.
Yes.
I created that process.
Yes.
So I'm a co-creator with the founders of Africa Stalking in that regard, which I take a great deal of pride in.
Yeah.
Because we have made it happen.
Yes.
So they went to MIT. They came here and started a revolutionary technology company in Africa.
Yes.
And in fact, when I joined Africa Stalking, I didn't join with any title. Some just told me, come in, let's work on this company. That time, Sam was working for Morgan Stanley in New York.
Yes.
And I think the only person I met at the office had been Graham.
Yes.
Yeah. So after that, we brought in Zach Mwangi to be head of the technical part of the business.
Yes.
I was the head of business development.
Yes.
And then Graham, we put him something to do with the client service.
Yes.
And Rachel was there as the admin. So that's the way it is. The two small rooms opposite Nakumatt Prestige.
We'll get there, Teddy.
I see. But
I want to know, how was your transition from high school to now you are doing this, you're acting as a bridge for guys to go study in US?
Because something interesting happened at that point. So I lost my father in 1997. And everything was dark.
It must be devastating.
I was in darkness because he was our sole breadwinner. I didn't know what to do.
And you looked up to him.
We looked up to him. And then the previous year, I'd also been very sick. I was sick for 6 months. We couldn't know what was the problem. The doctors couldn't find the problem. But I was sick and out of school.
Yes.
So with that, people say that when everything goes wrong,
there's something good coming.
There's something good coming.
It's an African belief.
It's an African belief as well. So I started just having these extraordinary visions or ideas.
Yes.
Like now I said, why can I not get a scholarship to go to the US? And when I first told my father that in 1996, my father thought, I'm dreaming. This kid is, where will I get the money from?
Yes.
But I just told him, I'm going to go to the US.
Yes.
And he could not believe.
So everyone was like, this guy is crazy.
So immediately I started doing this tutoring. Tutoring people. I used to be paid $2,000 per hour.
Yes.
It's a lot of money in 1999.
That's good money, bro.
Yeah.
That's even nowadays I know engineers who are paid less than $20 per hour.
Yes, and I was on demand.
Yeah.
And people were asking me to come to their homes, paying for me taxi. Those days there was no Uber or Bolt. Yeah.
And taxi was expensive.
To my place was about 2,000 one way.
So that's like another.
Yeah. So they were fucking 4,000, and I had a lot of customers. And in fact, it's sad that the office got closed. It had most of the records. And my mentor engineer, Kipsang Choge, passed away 2 years ago.
Yes.
But essentially, I did this. And so now people started saying, he reminds us of Tom Boyer, who was running the airlift. And so it got quite exciting. And the newspapers covered me and the Young Nation.
Yes.
And they were very excited. So my second major appearance ever in life was on August 27th, 2000.
Yes.
They put me on the front cover of the Young Nation.
Yes.
So it's in my book, Son of the Nile. I've put the clip.
Yes.
Because I wanted to show youngsters that even at that age, you can do something with what you have.
Yes.
And create opportunities for millions or thousands of Africans.
Absolutely.
So needless to say, my book is being used by Equity Wings to Fly program.
Yes.
They revised it and they now use it to help more kids.
They give you credits?
We wouldn't talk more about that because I gave it to them. They changed a lot of things in it. Yeah. And I think took ownership of it.
Yes.
But that's something that in my heart and mind,
yes,
I felt it's like somebody who is photocopying a Bible or a Quran and distributing it to Kenyans.
The impact is the same.
The impact is the same.
Yes, yes.
And in fact, they would help spread my word faster than I possibly could do by myself. So I let that go.
Yeah.
And other people were thinking I should, ask them to compensate me or to do ABC, but I didn't feel it was necessary at that point.
I mean, it's fair, and I think that should change with time because at the end of the day, giving credit doesn't cost you nothing. Because at the end of the day, people even understand where does this idea originate. Because if you talk about Tom Boyer today, there's not so much documentation about him, but what he did is there. It's evidence.
It's remarkable.
And
in fact, even coming to Tom Boyer, I was very happy that during the Corona period, They are guys who are usually, I think they work closely with Netflix.
Yes.
It's my friend Salim Amin.
Yes.
He has a company called Camera Peaks. They followed me and did a story of me called Airlift to America.
Yes.
So I think it could most likely be shown on Netflix.
Yes.
But they did one of the best footages about my American journey.
Yes.
So it's 1 hour.
Yes.
So I think it will be shown sometime in November this year.
Talking about America.
Yeah.
I want to hear that story.
It's called Airlift to America. So
yes.
Believe it or not, they even asked me, I won't divulge everything on the table because
don't preempt.
I won't preempt it. But one of the things that I found interesting that they asked me,
yes,
they asked me what I thought about gays. And I said that those are human beings.
Yes.
They have made certain choices and they must live with those choices.
Because every choice?
Yes, more or less I stated it in that manner.
Yeah.
Then I told them they should also give me room.
Yes.
Because I'm the 10th of 17th of a polygamous East African family.
Yes.
They should not question the fact that my father had 3 wives.
Yes.
Because it's also a choice that he made.
Yeah.
So that choice should be left like that.
Yes.
It shouldn't be frowned upon or looked upon as if he's a different human.
Yes.
Because even for us, we are not frowning or looking down upon them. We are accepting them as they are.
Yes.
So if they should also accept us Africans, especially the ones who choose to be polygamous, to be polygamous, because it's a more natural form of living.
Yes.
But even they, as if they've chosen it to be that way, they should live with it in peace.
No one should force each other to adopt.
To adapt to each other's sexual orientation or preferences.
Or cultural norms.
Exactly, or cultural norms. So that's was my take on that.
And that's deep, by the way, if you think about it.
Yes. And I even told them that my priorities are even not even about that. My priority is to build the best possible African talent.
Yes.
And to bring them back to build Africa. So for me, in a big way, Africa's Talking is a dream come true.
Yes.
Because out of it, like our colleague also for Graham Ingoho.
Yes.
When I first met him and he had told me he had never been on a plane, he had never been in an African country.
Yes.
I couldn't believe that we could build an African oriented company.
Yes.
If the employees have never seen other parts of Africa other than Kenya.
Yes.
So that time I took, not even a risk, but I took a leadership decision without apologies.
Executive decision.
Executive decision. And I put him on a plane.
Yes.
And he got into a plane to Nigeria. Of course, we bought the ticket for him. And Ethiopian Airlines used to sponsor Africa 2.2 trips. So they used to give me 13 free tickets, including business class. And
go anywhere.
Anywhere I want. Extra luggage, anywhere I want in the world. So that happened between 2010 and 2016.
Amazing.
So I said I'll take as many Africans
outside
as possible,
yeah,
as I know, who I think have a great future in the continent.
Yes.
So we went with Graham and we had a time of our lives in Abuja. No, sorry, in Lagos.
Lagos, yeah.
And we actually stayed at the Federal Palace Hotel.
Yes.
And it was the first time I introduced Graham to President General Olusegun Obasanjo.
Yes.
And at that time, I also took my dear friend Jole Geshoro to the event. She had never been to Nigeria. And as you know, when you get into the Nigerian airport, you're swarmed with people, money changers, taxis, and all. And you see, Julie is also very delicate, so we're all there for her. But she did a fantastic African leadership dialogue. That day, and she was one of the MCs. Those days she used to work for Citizen.
Yes.
And she even outdid the CNN anchor at that 4-day Africa 2.0 symposium.
Yes.
So it made me believe that I'm doing the right thing.
Yes.
And with that, I also brought in so many people who are now running most of the agencies in Africa or leading banks from ADB to United Nations Economic Commission for Africa. Zara, Songwe and all these kind of people. Vera Songwe, she's in charge of UNECA and the African infrastructure development as well. We've had different people who have run for the presidencies in their countries. So we have some fantastic alums from that program. Yes. And so in the end, and we're not ashamed of this, Barack Obama, President Barack Obama, the 44th president of the US, invited us to run Yali in West Africa, in 14 West African countries. And I think more or less they adopted the Africa 2.0 manifesto, which has the rallying call that we are the Africans we have been waiting for. So we don't need to wait for anybody else to move the continent forward or to advance it.
We need to do it.
So we need to do it. And we actually did it because the Africa 2.0 manifesto was also adapted by the AU to be something people call Agenda 2063.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about Agenda 2063.
Yeah, so we put it together. So if you go to the website of africa2.0.org, you'll see the blueprint that came before Agenda 2063.
Amazing stuff.
And it's the same thing.
Amazing stuff.
It is the same thing. Can you believe that? So when I tell people...
You mean business when it comes to changing Africa.
Indeed, I mean business, and Africa is talking and Africa is also doing.
Yes.
And that's why I told people, and I want to tell the youngsters that when I was a youth, this is what I did for Africa. With the little that I had, this is what we did. And even those days when we were starting Africa's Talking, we're only getting a stipend for like $200, but we were working 16 hours.
And
without complaining.
Putting in work.
Putting in work. And the only break we were taking is that Esson would take me to Galileo's. So we'd go there Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. And we'd dance until 5 a.m. to just take the pressure away.
Because you're putting in work.
Putting in our lives. In fact, I often tell people that for some companies or some things to be built, you have to give your life to it.
Yes.
And so we gave our life to Africa's Talking. We also gave our life to Africa 2.0.
Yes.
That's what I was doing at that time.
Yes.
And I gave it all.
Yes.
And so my belief right now is that we can create a bright continent. Because we've always been known as the dark continent.
Yes. Even in the map, when you look at it.
Yes. It's dark. Still dark. And even if during COVID, you saw, or even after you saw the way the planes were going.
Yes.
Africa has just some minimal planes.
Yes.
And numbers compared to all the skylines in the world. Yeah. So I said that time, I think, in fact, which I look for the document to give it to you at some point. Because Eston and I were always discussing often, how can we connect 750,000 Africans from mobile feature phones to the web and back.
Yes.
So hence creating the SMSleopard.com, which is an SMS to web technology.
Yes.
Probably the first one that Africa had. And we used to go to every market from Nyamakima to Sokomjinga.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to even hospitals in Muranga.
Yes.
Muranga District Hospital is the cleanest hospital. But we used to go there to talk to the doctors because there was the issue of diabetes.
Yes.
That time I was not diabetic, but we wanted the patients, instead of coming from Sagana to Muranga District Hospital to check their medical refills, to do all these kind of things, they could always engage the doctors on SMS.
Yeah.
So that they can have.
And this is a feature phone.
Yeah, feature phone. That time was, I think, 2011. So the nation covered that we're doing something with rural. We're taking tech to rural Kenya. But we're very excited about that.
Yeah.
And so, and then Eston had a kind of I don't know, it's a Daihatsu, but that's a car we used to go with. And the idea is that we're very excited that we're truly building something new for Africa. And we were not sure that even Africa's Talking will live to be 12 years, because when we spoke with the likes of Aisi Makatiani, he was then a giant because he had come up with something called African Online.
Yes.
It was the only dial-up internet that Kenya had.
Yes.
So he told us we were 7 years late. These SMS things, all these things we're doing.
Yes.
Little did he know we were 7 years earlier. Little did he know we were actually 7 years earlier.
Yeah.
So because we became the new kid on the block.
Yes.
Matters, smart SMS, bulk SMS, and all this.
Yes.
But that was a very good experience for me because people were getting money from VCs at that time. But my strategy and my thoughts and point was at that time, I was telling Eston, let us first sell the product.
Let the customer be the investor.
The customer be the investor.
Yes.
And the first one was Ngunjiri Wambugu, who, when I engaged him and he became our first customer, gave us a check of 29,000, roughly $290 US. We went and had some celebration at Mchana restaurant next to the office because we could not believe we were getting this kind of money, 29,000 at a go.
From the product that you guys built.
We built in 2 dark rooms. And in fact, when we were launching that SMS Leopard, Zach stayed in the office. He didn't come for the actual launch.
Yeah.
because we were using a lot of batteries. We had like 12 batteries. Those days, power in Kenya was not stable.
So anything could go
wrong. So Zach remained in the office to make sure.
That to power the computers, the servers?
Exactly. So he had to remain in the office to run the generator, to add the oil and so the diesel, actually, to be specific, because diesel was the cheapest.
Yes.
So I was there at
this is in 20?
I think this is like 2012. I was there now at iHub. I'm serious. I'm there at iHub launching SMS Leopard.
Yes.
Mugo Kibati is there. He was then the head of Vision 2030. The ICT chairman of Engineer Reggae was there. He was then the ICT chair in Parliament. He came to see what we were launching.
Yes.
All the big boys were there, and it was at iHub.
Yes.
Jessica Colasso had been kind to provide the platform and the refreshments for us, because we didn't have enough cash, and we didn't even pay for the space.
Yes.
So it ended up that we did the launch. So Zach, I was just checking on the text you're sending me that God tell him, man, I'm going to fetch diesel. I'm like, I need to launch this thing.
Otherwise,
so what I did is that I gave Graham to speak about the product. Sadly, we lost that video, but Graham spoke about the entire SMS Leopard product.
Amazing.
And then for me, I was then emceeing. Then after that, I, of course, stood up and said, this product is officially launched.
So by then, Africa's Talking was not there, or?
Africa's Talking was there, but our first main product was then SMS Leopard, which was the bulk SMS, because that was customer-facing products, like SMS. So that was one of the products. The API came a year later. We got a Princeton kid to come and work with us as an intern.
Yes.
And then we did a hackathon. That time, Eston was in SA. He followed his wife, who was then working in SA at BCG.
Yes.
And Sam was in London.
Yes.
I was leading the team from Nairobi.
Yes.
So I used to do hackathons as well. So we'd provide...
And we'll talk about that.
Yes, indeed. So what you're doing is great now, because I know great products will come out of this.
Yes, absolutely.
So when we came up with the API, we're all surprised. And so we priced it at 10 cents. At that time. So Graham has some of the old emails, and I also have some of the...
And people used to negotiate?
Exactly. No, because folks were so surprised that we'd come up with this. Even us were surprised.
Yes.
Because Eston then had also gone for... I'd applied for something called Echoing Green Fellowship.
Yes.
But I didn't win. Eston had applied. I'd asked him to apply. Then we emerged as semi-finalists.
Yes.
And what Eston had not done, he had not put me on the documentation as a co-founder.
Yes.
So when he wanted to include me,
the
owners of the competitions refused, because they said he should have put it from the beginning. Well, we lost that, but we gained something very meaningful.
Yes.
We gained the ability to go to Hub Ventures. So Hub Ventures gave us some money. I think it was $27,000.
Yes.
And a 90-day training. So Eston represented us. And then he saw closely how Tulio was working, because they tutored him and they coached him, and we made the product better.
Yes.
So he was then in San Francisco and we were here. So he saw the poverty and the strength of innovation in San Francisco.
Yes.
But at the same time, we used to talk a lot on the phone and inspire the team.
Yes.
Because then he was in the US, he's in Silicon Valley. I think
where the action is.
So everybody, the young techies and everybody was getting very excited.
Yes.
That we're getting there.
Yes.
So people were doubling down their efforts. So that product skyrocketed and became our number one product. But at some point, then I left so that I do more of Africa 2.0.
Yes.
Because my dream then was that wherever every country Africa 2.0 is, or wherever Africa's Talking goes, I wanted us to share space, so that we build a connected and prosperous Africa. Because one was a civil society organization, and then one was a business. So one could feed into the other, and vice versa.
Yes.
So that's what was...
and that's still the culture even today.
Exactly. Because now I'm happy because Sam is putting together Africa Talking Foundation, which I think will carry on with some of this type of work. And I'm very keen to... Because when you're in the US, they say you are homesick.
Yes.
When I come here, they say I'm home going.
Yes.
But now I could say we're in the home stretch. And we want to do the home stretch for creating a connected Africa.
Yes.
by both connecting people, person-to-person diplomacy,
Yes.
but also connecting us with mobility.
Yes.
And from mobile money to anything that mobile phones can do.
Yes.
So we become a real connected Africa.
Yes.
You see that? So that's my fundamental belief.
Yes.
That it's a task that needs to be done.
Yes.
And I'm grateful also to the Almighty that also my health is coming back. So I'm able to do more than I could do. Yeah.
I mean, this is interesting. And one of the things that I feel like we should talk about maybe in future is, how did you go to US? And how did that influence, some of the decisions to come back and rebuild and focus on ensuring that what you had initially, aspired to do as a young leader.
So actually,
you're doing it.
I'll do that. I'll actually make a summary for now.
Yes.
When I was in the US, my teacher, Laura Graves, taught me how German was.
Which university was that, or college?
So that was the first college, South Plains College.
Okay.
She took time to teach me about servant leadership.
Yes.
As expressed by Robert Greenleaf.
Yes.
It's a fantastic book. It's called Servant Leadership.
Leaders without a title.
Leaders without a title, but leaders also who are ethical and get things done. They don't need titles to get work done.
Exactly.
They get it done.
Yes.
So, in fact,
yes,
I may read the full name of the book. It's called
Kindly.
Power of Servant Leadership.
Yes.
A Journey into the Nature of Legitimate Power and Greatness by Robert K. Greenleaf.
Yes.
So she gave me that book.
Yes.
And she also gave me a book called The Journey to the East.
Yeah.
So this is a book by Herman Hesse.
Yes.
And she likened me to Leo,
Yes.
the unassuming and quintessential servant leader in the novel,
Yes.
without whom the journey to the East was not going to be possible. So I also see the journey to the African advancement cannot be possible without the creators or co-creators of a new Africa, which I consider myself to be one of them.
Yes.
So rather than stay in air-conditioned offices in New York, in fact, if I was still in the US, I will most probably be a doctor in New York, a medical doctor, because that is a path which I was taking as a pre-med student.
Yes.
But I'm actually very grateful that on coming back in 2010, when Eston invited me to join Africa's Talking when I was coming here on a holiday, it's the right decision that I made. Because I could just be in a solitary room with one patient, because I'm extremely good with my hands. So I with both sutures, I was trained to do sutures, which I did. So I can actually do sutures on you. If you have a torn skin. I can draw blood from any part of your body without you feeling pain. It will be. I'm very good at that until now. So I'd already done all those things. And that was the path that I was going to be. But I think my true path is actually what I'm doing now. Because without building a new Africa, I'd be seeing Americans building their America with us there.
And you admire, you can't do anything.
So my teacher, Dr. Graves, did two things. First, she told me about Lewis and Clark, who discovered America and through journeys and explored America before other people came to build it. See that? And then secondly, when I was helping African Leadership Academy's Fred Swanica to co-write the curriculum called Leadership, Entrepreneurship and African Studies, it occurred to me that when we were being trained, Fred gave us a book on how, it's called the Manhattan Project, on how America built the atomic bomb, and how they called their best talents to go to New Mexico, Los Alamos, to build this thing to defend America, which was actually an atomic bomb. So I said, if a nation can coalesce its best and brightest to build such a bomb that was destructive, what could I do to coalesce the best of Kenya or Africa to build something, to build a more positive and a more strong and stable and prosperous Africa? And it's lent itself that Africa's Talking for this moment is a vehicle. And so I'm applying myself with others then to realize the dream. And Africans also have not fully told their stories the way it's supposed to be told. So I'm keen on also being a chief storyteller for these stories, because the more positive and great stories we have, the more powerful Africa will become, because we are words.
Yes.
Before anything becomes great, it was first an idea, just put in words.
It started with God.
Just started with God, then words. It's really just words. Even Africa's talking.
Yes.
Started with just a name.
Yes.
Africa is talking.
Yes.
Yeah. So everything we put in follows that.
And the action follows.
The action follows. So I fundamentally believe that even now as we do more things, we will truly be the representatives of the African Renaissance in every way.
Yes.
Both in our clothing, in our music, and in our products and services.
Yes.
You see that? Yes. And we can even, we will even do this in rural African villages.
Yes.
Where 75% of our population still lives.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's what I believe, that we'll even distribute this podcast on by SMS or by internet or by any means necessary.
Yes.
Because more people need to lend their voices.
Yes.
So that their voices are amplified and they're widely distributed. Because we too are owners of this world.
Yes.
This world that doesn't just belong to the West or to the wealthy.
Yes.
It belongs to all of us.
Yes.
Contributing and sharing what we have.
Yes.
So that we all move forward together. So I believe in shared prosperity, and I believe that this is also our moment.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Teddy. And as we conclude, you want to read something from there, maybe to
yes.
close.
So what I want to read from my,
and don't worry, we'll do a session with books.
Okay, no problem.
Yes, we go through books. Yeah. Yes.
So I wanted to read just a line which I found is important to me.
Yes.
I am beauty.
Yes.
Love.
Yes.
And justice.
Yes.
Justice is coming.
Yes.
At this moment, I'm blessed by the ancestors to lead the dance between the lions and the dragons in the African savannah.
Yes.
And to bridge the gap between African Americans, and Americas.
Yes.
From the land, and Americans, and the Native Americans.
Yes.
From the land of the Zia and Ute.
Yes.
New Mexico and Colorado.
Yes.
The mountain states. I am Umoja, meaning oneness or unity in Swahili. J. Craig Venter and Dr. Francis Collins, who both led in the sequencing of the human genome, DNA, established through science that we are 99.9% genetically similar to one another. I was born to bring people together and to bring balance to the world. Ritninga Nyathina, one Kanyakla, which means we are one in Luo.
Yes.
Luo. Erokamano, which means thank you for all those who have worked with me. Oriti, which means may the great force or the Almighty be with you until we see each other. Thotinda, which means end of story in the Luo or in the Luo custom.
Amazing
end stories.
Stuff.
We say Thotinda.
Thotinda. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. It's yours truly, Michael Kemani of You Like MK. Bring to you direct Impact Masters Media. Thank you so much. It was amazing joining us and listening through. Until next time, live well, live fully. Thank you.